Thank you once again to Boxu for sponsoring this video, more on that later. Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another review, and today I'm taking a look at another Master Grade Crossbone Gundam. This one right here being the Premium Bandai exclusive Master Grade Crossbone Gundam X-1 Patchwork Verka. That is a long name and it means quite a bit. But what it means to me the most is, I was completely wrong about the Master Grade Crossbone Gundam, basically because I based it on this one right here, the X-0. And the reason that one wasn't so great is because of the kind of plastic band I used, which is the metallic injection silver. And the whole thing just feels rickety, crappy, weak, brittle, and odd. Not a good kit at all. This, however, I feel might be closer to the regular release Crossbone Gundam X-1 Verka that would have come out in 2006 or so. So I think this might be a little bit more of an accurate Crossbone review until I get one of those in my hands. But anyway, I have to say I am super impressed. Once again, for another 2006 kit, this is very nice. But I will mention this particular version, the Patchwork, actually came out quite recently. I'm not sure if it was sometime last year, I think, towards the end of the year. So this is a 2021 kit, as far as I know. I love this to bits. None of the issues I found with the silver Crossbone are here at all, and this thing is absolutely beautiful. But when it says Verka on the box, I always see that as a requires additional effort. These never really are complete per se out of the box. This has a lot of color accuracy issues for a master grade, and also a lot of the detail on here is lost unless you do a little bit more in order to bring it out, kind of like the scars in the face. Those would just be blank if you did not paint them. So I did do a little bit extra with this, which I'll talk about, well, after this. Boxu is a monthly subscription service that delivers premium Japanese snacks and tea pairings right to your door. Each Boxu features a new theme providing a gourmet journey through Japan every month. The first Boxu you'll receive is called Seasons of Japan, and following Seasons of Japan you will receive a new monthly themed box like this one. April's theme is Sakura Season. Each Boxu is packed with snacks and it comes with a cultural booklet that tells you all about the theme, where the snacks come from, details of the flavors, and it even teaches you a few Japanese words and phrases. The blooming of Sakura in Japan is one of the most special times of the year, and the same was for me when I lived there. This month's Boxu is packed to the brim with plenty of pink snacks to celebrate Hanami, no matter where in the world you are. Ichigo milk marshmallows, tiny marshmallows coated in a pink white chocolate, Sakura Buse, Sakura flower on top, pastry on the outside, and filled with a cherry cream. Too good. And this one right here I haven't even opened yet, it is too beautiful. The beauty of real Kanagawa cherry blossoms suspended in jelly. Honestly, I'm keeping this for a special occasion, and yes, you can eat it. So if you want to try some awesome Japanese snacks and support my channel at the same time, then just click that link in the description and use my code MECHA15 to get 15% off your first Boxu order. So straight away talking about the build. Now this is quite an old kit and a Verka, which means you will have to put in a little bit of additional effort to make sure all the detail that is crammed in here pops, because there is a lot of detail, Verka style. So I did not film the actual build of this, so I will just give you a breakdown of what I did use. So I used two different god hands to cut this out. That is the PN125 to get it off the runners, this is a decent nipper by the way, and the iconic SPN120 to cut off the gates. I followed that up with Gun Primer's Racer to get rid of any of the nubs, and I also used this to clean up any excess paint. As for the paint I just used some simple Gundam markers. That is a simple yellow and a simple red, which came from this particular little pack right here. I used the red for the scars on the face and just used a file to take away the excess paint, and same with the yellow sections up on the shoulders and in the front of the clavicle. As for the panel lining I did on this, as usual, I just panel lined the vanity areas around the head and face for the thumbnail, and what I used is the flow style Gundam marker, as well as the kind of Gundam marker eraser you get in the set. All of this stuff I will link in the description if you want it for yourself, including where I got this kit. And I'll also mention that I did not film the build of this because I did build it while watching TV. So I do recommend this little workstation right here if you do not have a lot of space for building. It is very handy, you can prop your manual on it, your nubs won't get everywhere because they go down into the grating, and it can hold onto your nipper for you. Very handy, and again, links in the description. Now let's talk about the Crossbone. So changing things up a little bit, I'm going to jump right on into the size comparisons. Now, this kit right here is a late UC design. It barely even looks like Universal Century at all. It's so over the top and ridiculous with the fact that it is pirate themed based on a skull and crossbones, and it has weapons out the ass. Crazy weapons, by the way. some in the ass. So just to give an idea of how big it is, there it is beside a Master Grade RX-78-2, so it is a little bit shorter, but not too crazy short compared to that. There it is side by side with one of the smallest Gundams around, the Gundam F91, so it is a little taller than the Master Grade F91 2.0, and there it is beside the Master Grade Gundam F92, not 92, 92. And next up there it is beside the evolution of Universal Century Gundams in Master Grade form. So these are all 1/100, and as you can see they get bigger, 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 bigger as the Universal Century goes by, and then drop to quite small after F91, which is not here, and the Crossbone, which is here. And just to show just how small this is for a Master Grade, there it is beside the Real Grade New Gundam, which is pretty much in and around the same size, so this is a very compact Master Grade. Let's take a closer look. So now jumping into the full 360 spin so you can see every angle of this yourself. Once again, this is a very nice looking Gundam, but once it comes out of the box, it can be a little on the plain side. This definitely needs to be at least given a little bit of a panel lining, but otherwise, everything here does look quite nice. The proportions are great, it looks awesome, and this has such a real staunch, almost rugged and handsome kind of face, if you get what I mean. Like, I'm used to looking at the real grade version of the Crossbone, which is a little bit more, I guess, kind of squished in comparison. This just has one awesome head. Like I mentioned, I did use some of the aspects out of this kit. I didn't use any sticker but the one on the eyes and one on the head lens around back. Besides that, I did use a couple of the Katoki style decals, once again in the vanity area around the shoulders and the chest. And I did paint the yellow circles on the shoulders, the yellow parts of the beam sabers pointing out from the clavicle, and the scars on the face. So all of those do not come in color out of the box. But besides that, the colors here are cool. You will notice that one of the shoulders is in a different color, and this is a little bit of a mix of the X-1 and the X-3. So as far as I know, this is the X-1 repaired with some X-3 parts, which gives it a nice cool mix between the two. I dig the light blue, but also that asymmetrical shoulder is a nice touch. I will mention the parts that are in blue or dark blue here are in both colors on the runners, and there is a lot of leftover parts from the various X1 or X2 that it is, X3 that it's based on. Which also includes those cool Crossbone Gundam kind of energy fist parts that I haven't actually built for this review, but I did them in the X0. They're included on the runner if you want to build those too. I will mention at this point, because I haven't mentioned it before, the only thing that is brand new for this kit that didn't come in a kit that came out before is the hook arm shield that is on there. So the shield with the hook on it, that is the only thing new. Everything else this is made of came in a 2006 or I think a 2013 or 12 iteration of this kit. Besides that though, it is just the shield that's new. So now jumping into the accessories, and here is the Master Grade Crossbone Gundam X-1 Patchwork with absolutely everything that it comes with. And this comes with a literal armory of stuff. Whatever situation this needs a weapon for, it's got it. Everything. Mainly close quarters, but it's got it. But mainly close quarters. And the only thing that is actually brand new for this kit right here, like we mentioned already, is the hook. But anyway, let's check it all out one by one. Starting with the hook. So first off in here we have the hook. This is made out of all the same colors as the Gundam itself, that is the dark red, the dark blue, and if you flip around to the other side, we've got a little bit of a nice layered aspect in there. This also has a removable hook that pops out just like so, and we do have a wire for attaching that, but let's get it onto the Gundam first. To do that, you just pop off the red segment just like that, and it then just slots onto the back of this blue armor segment just like so. So I assume this can be used on either side because they both look exactly the same. If I'm not mistaken, they are exactly the same. I just noticed something is a little bit off about the crossbone here. I noticed this opened up and I could just see right on through because I did take the core fighter out for the big spread a second ago. So I'm going to get this back in. So that means first off, we're going to be looking at the beam sabers. So in here we do get two beam sabers. One of the beams did get bent inside the box. If you ever have that trouble or that problem, you can actually just use some warm water to bend it back into shape. There is the beam saber itself, looking a little like a cigarette with the yellow tip there, but I did paint that yellow tip. This is just white out of box. The type of hands the Master Grade Crossbone comes with are these 3 fingers, 1 finger, and a thumb. You can move the parts around independently like so. These are very weak, like I've mentioned in the last couple of Master Grade reviews, because the only thing that holds anything is the tab right there. When attaching in the beam sabers, the hole just attaches into the tab. Be very careful with that tab because you can mash them and destroy them forever if you're not careful. But it can hold them fine because they're not that heavy. So that's what the beam saber looks like right there. And that's actually picking up that blue light really nicely. Look at that glow. Hey Siri, lights off.
Okay, done.
That is very nice. Hey Siri, lights on.
Okay, done.
When these are not in use, they're actually stored in the sides of the core fighter, just like so, to be used when it's flying all around the place like pew 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 pew. And you can transform this by flipping these up, flipping the front of the cockpit back like so. This collapses back, slides into place and locks. Open these up like the crossbones that they are, and then this thing can just dock into the back of the crossbones nice and seamlessly like this. Very nicely designed. Again, for an older kit, this is holding up very, very nice. Again, the older kit being the original. Actually, I do have a question. If you happen to have the X-1 as well as this version of the X-1, is the plastic on both the same? That's the original one and the updated P Bandai one. I want to know because I am on the lookout to try and grab a OG X-1. So this kit right here does include a whole lot of wire. You cut this into 20 centimeter lengths, and one of them is for using with this hook. To use this wire, just pop off the hook just like so, stick the wire into the hook, then stick the wire into the tip of the shield, and this is what you get right here. This is a very Crossbone Gundam, over-the-top, wired weapon. This is for grabbing onto enemies as you would expect, and this does look very fun and very, very cool. Is it worth it just to go out and get a P Bandai kit for a hook on a wire? Well, depends on who you are. To me, most certainly yes. So the rest of the weapons in here we've seen in one form or another throughout the Crossbone kit. So first up is the Beam Zamber. Again, that just pops into the hand in that peg sort of way. Do not crush the peg. Again, like these hands tend to be, the hold is a little bit spotty. Could be a bit better, but if you're careful, it won't drop out. Next up in here, we've got the Buster Gun. Quite plain. Looks a little like a musket or a flintlock pistol. We've got a sticker for the sights right there, but that's a clear part underneath, just in colorless. And we've got a cool little bit at the end here that makes it look like he could hang it on his belt. Once again, that attaches into a peg. This is a little bit of an awkward shape for a robot manipulator to handle, and it kind of just slots in a little something like that. It's also at a bit of an angle, so, you know, this whole thing is a little bit wonky. The wrist doesn't really have the kind of articulation that will allow you to get a nice pose out of it, and it pops out quite easy. But the cool aspect about this is you can grab this and the Beam Zamber, pop out the not so vigorous effect part. Hope that it didn't fall apart. Flip this piece up, spin it round, bring it back down again like so. Grab the Buster, move that forward, flip that up, and both then can attach together into the Beam Zamber. And then after messing around with the unnecessarily finicky 2006 hands, it's always going to be at a little bit of an awkward angle, just based off of the way that the kind of guard gets in the way right there. And when these are not in use, just convert them back into the individual weapons, and these can be stored on the side skirts. They both have a little bit of a peg in the side so they can attach on like so. So this is simple enough, they hold on fine, but the guard is likely sometimes to fall off that Zambuster. I mean, Beam Zamber. Beam Zamber. Do you like an array of physical weapons that kind of shoot off on wires and or chains? Well, then you're gonna love this particular kit. First up, we've got a pair of chains for one of the most ridiculous Universal Century weapons ever. And I have to highlight once again, this is Universal Century, as in the serious main Gundam universe. These chains are used for attaching the skirting armor, the front skirting armor, which transforms into grabby hooks. Well, yeah, it's for attaching those onto big chains. This is a Gundam that shoots off its front skirting armor as a grabby claw on a chain. That is definitely awesome, but again, Universal Century. I'll also mention in this kit the joints which attach the chains are a little bit too weak. They will flop down, so you'll have to tighten them up a little bit yourself. So if that wasn't enough mid-range skirting related weapon madness for you, well, around here on the back skirting we also have this little handle that pops out, and this, I shit you not, is called the screw whip. So we've got two of these included, so we do have two wires and two of these screw whip tips, which is a kind of drill on the end of a whip. So it whips this out, it attaches onto whatever it's whipping it at, and it starts drilling. Honestly, this is so over the top and ridiculous that, once again, I absolutely adore it. Again, Universal Century. Imagine the most dramatic part of Hathaway's Flash. I know this is from the future from them, but just think, same universe. Think a dramatic part in Hathaway's Flash, and this pirate-themed Gundam just jumping in all like, "Yarr, I've got a screw whip." And the Crossbone Patchwork right here wouldn't be a pirate worth its salt if it didn't have a knife hidden away in its boot, or both of those boots. So that is this right here, the heat dagger. You just pop this little daggery segment in here, just like so. And we have two of these, one in each of the boots. That pops into the hand, tab style like every other weapon we've seen in this so far, and you can have it in the usual stabby way, or you can flip it around for this flavor of stabby. Both work and both fit. We do have two of these, like I mentioned. So last up when it comes to the accessories we're using with this kit, we've got an alternate pair of hands. Once again, this is a pair. These are in a widespread shape, and it doesn't say in the instructions what these are, so we don't have a brand marker on the rear of the arms on this particular version of the Crossbone Gundam, like we would have seen on the X-1 real grade or on the X-0 master grade. So this actually has different arms where the, shield brand marker thingamajig was. So according to the instructions, this part in the back moves up like this. This is on a little pivot, and the hand is held up like so. So I can only assume this is either a form of a shield or some kind of shining finger. One or the other. If you know, please let me know. The wiki's missing it, and it doesn't say anything in the instructions. However, it does look awesome in this pose. Lastly then, here we've got a pair of 1/100 pilot figures. The one on the right actually has a base, modern style. Actually, modern style would be nothing in the box at all, wouldn't it? And the other one on the left is from 2006, so it is missing a little base. So the last thing we've got inside the box is this action base adapter. Now this is quite unique. At first, when I attached this on to the Core Fighter segment, it felt a little bit loose, like this wouldn't really work. But once you actually do get this up on an action base, this balances perfectly. Even though it's not a clip or a tight hold, it all balances out. Even while getting this into a pose, it gave me no issues whatsoever. So I am shocked by this kit. After building this one right here, the X-0, I thought the Master Grade Crossbone Gundam wasn't really all that good, but it turns out it's just the plastic on the X3. This one, the Patchwork, I have to say I really love. I really like it a lot. So because this is a kit we've pretty much taken a look at before when it comes to the actual full-on articulation with this kit, I'm not going to go through absolutely everything with it. However, I will say the articulation on here it's quite basic. So basically you've got nothing at the torso in any kind of ab crunch or twist kind of way, and every other limb is just about average. Your legs, ankles, your arms, you're going to get basic poses only, which is a little bit disappointing. I'll also mention that the build strength is still extremely delicate compared to more robust modern master grades, or even robust older master grades. It's a delicate little kit, so you're not going to get any crazy poses out of this. It's mainly just kind of like a Katoki kit, where it's designed to just stand there and look pretty. And that's about all it does, but it will only look pretty if you put in all the extra effort. So, yeah, basic posing functionality. So anyway, that right there is it for the review. And you know what? This to me is silver tier, which means it is a good kit. It is definitely a good kit with the caveat of the but you will have to put your own extra effort in. A straight built out of box build will look absolutely flat and boring. It won't look very good at all. You really need to fill in all the lines. If you add on all the decals, it will look very nice too, of course. But it will require that extra effort. There is stickers, color correcting stickers in a master grade, which is next to unforgivable, but in the end what you get is quite nice. Is it worth running out to get a premium Bandai kit for this kind of thing? Well, honestly, that is up to yourself. There are far better kits out there to buy, but if you like the Crossbone Gundam, you love 1/100, you don't mind putting the extra time into your kits, this is still a fantastic little display piece. So anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Boxu for supporting this channel by sponsoring the video. And as always, make sure to come back for more Gundam model kit reviews, and I'll see you next time. As always, this video and none of these videos would be possible without each and every one of you watching these videos, including those of you who are supporting me on the channel memberships and over on Patreon, including VanFon, OG59061, Lawrence Seahack, Kill Me Inc., Joseph Kukluk, Joe, Gunpla UK Limited, Global Frequency Studios, Forsetti, Caleb Engelhart, and Craig Jerry.